So this episode we're going to talk about one of the songs which we've already recorded. It was actually quite a lot of fun recording this one.
It was the first song I wrote on synth, actually.
And it's called Nightlight.
I was playing around late at night and I got into a groove with some beautiful sounding keys. I generally stay up late and I sometimes cannot sleep, so I write music. And the song was about the process of that, just being inspired by the nighttime, the beauty of creating at night. I mean, it's the first song that we put down guitars. Steph doesn't play guitar.
But I recently got, as a birthday gift, this lovely little electronic drum pad. It's an Alesis Perk pad.
We used to just play hard, sing hard,
Yeah.
and this is kind of like,
Smash out drums.
this is let us sit back a bit.
It's a little more suppressed. It's, it's actually quite enjoyable.
Yeah, this is kind of like our alter ego side. It's the Depro pop in us coming out. It's a new avenue. We're going to continue down this path and figure things out with you guys and with ourselves.
One of the cool things about Nightlight, I think, as a song is that it's almost like the sound becomes a visual. And the main synth bit in this song to me is like a heartbeat,
Yeah.
You kind of feel it pulsating between the right and the left-hand side.
I find it quite immersive. I get lost in it, and the sound kind of directed the writing. Yeah, and I think this was the first time we actually really realized the importance of like room in a song.
Mm-hmm.
So like not everything is like fighting for a place in the song. If you mute one of the instruments, you kind of feel it. You don't know what's missing, but you feel like an absence of something.
It's a nice song. It is probably my favorite synth song of yours.
Thank you.
But that might change drastically over the next few weeks.
I'm working on a new one, which is even better, which we'll show you eventually. So keep watching because there's a lot to learn from what we're doing here.
When love you make slowly fades away, when the daylight breaks, the morning's killing me. In the night the world you're made a slave. And when the daylight fades, pull down the shades and come away. When the daylight fades and it's the I'll meet you in the streets, in the dreams, in the shadows. I'll wait in the night.
So this is a Korg Chaoslator. It's quite outdated technology by now. We were playing Nightlight one day, just jamming it and trying to understand exactly what kind of drums it needs. And at that point I think I was still playing on the actual acoustic drum kit, and it just didn't sound right, you know, it really just needed synthetic drums, right? So the cool thing about this beat is that when you slide it up, you can modulate an effect, and the effect sounds a bit like this. I don't know, Matt always calls this like a basketball effect, because it sounds like sneakers on a basketball court every time the bass drum plays. What we really wanted to get was that effect with the sneakers. So I was looking at effects online, and I found an effect called a defacer. It's actually a VST plugin which you can download, called the defacer. The main part of the chorus sounded really good, but it was a bit lacking in something. So I think Matthew was just jamming around on acoustic guitar at that point and started playing a little bass riff along to it, which ended up sounding quite groovy, so we added it in. It sounds a little silly on its own, but if you play it with the whole chorus, it actually kind of fits in very well. So if you listen to the chorus without that bass, it sounds good, but it's lacking that lower foundation. Also in the verses we decided to add a bit of a running bass to give the song a bit of momentum. So this is it over here. Then when you go into the second verse, it changes up a bit in that you now play two notes and it does a funky little pattern between them. So you get to this part of the song where everything kind of comes down a bit. And at this point you kind of lose a lot of the tone in the song, so we thought it would be a cool idea to bring that back in with the bass. So it starts having a bit more of a melody. So if you hear the bass over here, and then with the song, and then everything comes back together.
So not everything in the song is digitized. We actually did put in an acoustic guitar, but we layered quite thick delay on top of it, so it kind of loses its acousticness. It becomes digitized in some kind of way. I was busy playing these chords out, and it felt like it was giving it the sky blue, like high-end tones that the song needed. It was all very middle and low, and we just needed something at the top. And it was very simple. We just added this. In this song you almost can't hear it. It almost fades away into everything else, but if you play the song without it, definitely something missing. Subtle nuances make such a big difference in the production of songs, and like, we really don't know much about that yet. We're still very much in the learning process, but we discovered it big time on this track. The micro Korg, it really changed things up for us. Okay, so this instrument is really small, but very versatile. When I was playing the notes, I pitch bent, kind of like how you would on a guitar, and it fit. So there's also the arpeggiator, which if you play a chord, then the synth will play all the notes in a sequence up and down. That's what added to the depth and the waviness of the sounds that we decided to use in what became Nightlight's main instrument. We don't always use so many effects, but this was a cool place to experiment. So thanks for watching this one. We hope you really enjoyed listening to a full track and hearing how we went about doing things with it. Catch us for more episodes in the future. There's a lot more on its way.